This is one of the spiniest slopes in the Panji Valley. Life, death, no matter the risks. Without it, life would be much worse.
लड़का बिल्कुल सर यही खुशी तो चाहिए हर किसी को और उसमें क्या चाहता हूँ सर बहुत खुशी है मुझे तो
Everyone holds their breath for the whole 30 kilometers. The stops allow the passengers to have a break. This man is not just here to sell tickets. Without him, the driver and his bus, too big for the track, would soon be in trouble. His job requires deep breaths.
ये गाड़ी पास करवाने के लिए रोड तंग है, तंग होने की वजह से जो है गाड़ी पास करवानी पड़ती है, इसलिए थोड़ा गाड़ी पास करवाने के लिए और चलने की होगी और जैसे बैक करनी है गाड़ी तो उसकी होगी और जैसे आगे जाना है पास देना है उसकी भी यही होगी बस यही है 4 प्रकार की विषय
अच्छा तो क्या खतरनाक रोड तो किसको अच्छे लगते हैं और अब चलाना पड़ता है खैर बरसात में ज़्यादा खतरा होता है ऊपर से जो है तो स्लाइडिंग वगैरह होती है पत्थर पुत्थर कभी भी आ सकते हैं कभी भी नुकसान होने की संभावना रहती है यहाँ पे बरसात के दिनों में खास कर
Like its ravines, India is a country of extremes. Having become the 6th largest economy in the world, it is rapidly growing in the technology sector. Equipped with modern infrastructures connecting all its major cities and their business districts. But far from the city, 1,000 other faces emerge from the country. This is the India of beliefs and traditions. A country that's sweating as it pushes through the currents of the Brahmaputra river. The India that takes all risks on the Himalayan roads. The dangers of the road are nothing compared to the horrors of climate change. The drought is hitting hard, but in the Himalayas, men are not short of ideas for storing water. In India, nothing is too hard or even impossible. From the plains, through the Himalayas and into the forests, there is always a god or a goddess watching over. For centuries, these rock walls have protected men from invasions, an advantage and a curse. Even today, getting in and out of the Panji Valley is no easy task. Fortunately, for farmers like Tenzin, modernity has not stopped at the foot of the Himalayas.
हेलो हाँ संजय जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार जी
सर बढ़िया सर। क्या बारिश रुक गया? क्या एवरेज रहा सर कल का? तो लंगर के लिए कोई मटर का डिमांड?
लंगर के लिए देखिए
हाँ सर ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर।
ठीक है।
इम्पोर्टेंट है लाइफ में, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, हर जगह काम कर सकते हैं इससे। कुछ भी करो, बात करो, कुछ भी करो, कहीं भी कुछ मैसेज देना हो, गांव में कोई बीमार होता है तो इससे थ्रू मैसेज पास कर सकता, नहीं तो मोबाइल फ़ोन तो चलता नहीं गांव में। तो ये कहीं भी थोड़ा बहुत इसमें टावर पकड़ लेता, गांव में भी पकड़ता है, जिस पे मोबाइल वहाँ पे नहीं चलता।
Perched at an altitude of 3,000 meters, his village has no roads. To get supplies and sell the vegetables they grow, Tenzin and the locals have no choice but to walk. Although the destination is just there, very close.
ये जो पहाड़ी है इसके पीछे अभी तक रोड पहुंचा हुआ है, क्योंकि वहाँ से आगे नहीं आया। कुछ फॉरेस्ट के रूल से सेक्शन नहीं हुआ, लकड़ी किसी कारण से काम रुका हुआ रोड का। आज के डेट में जो जहाँ भी जो मॉडर्न ज़माना है, हर जगह रोड है, फैसिलिटी, गाड़ियाँ चलता है, पर हमारे यहाँ गाड़ी नहीं होने के कारण खच्चर पे डिपेंड है। इसलिए खच्चर का बहुत एक फ़ायदा है हमें।
During the pea harvest, Tenzin and his mules come down from the mountain every day. 24 kilometers round trip at a fast pace.
सबको अलग अलग करना, अपना अपना लाट वाइज रखना, अपना अपना मार्क किया हुआ तो उस हिसाब से करना, बाद में गाड़ी में लोड करना है। तो यहाँ से मैं अब आगे निकलूँगा, बाकी बाद में आराम से सारे खच्चर आएंगे, आराम से मैं जाऊँगा आगे।
Three hours later, they finally reach the road, and the truck drivers have no time to waste.
ठंडी जगह कहीं अगर इनको थोड़ा जैसे हवा देनी पड़ती है ताकि ये फ्रेश रहते हैं हवा से ना, फिर उसके बाद वहाँ से निकलना पड़ता है। अगर रुकना भी होगा तो ठंडी इलाके में रुकना पड़ता है, मार्केट में पहुँचना पड़ता है ताकि हमें इसका वहाँ रेट पे जाने चाहिए, नहीं तो मार्केट कम हो जाती है।
आगे के लिए जो भी है, अभी आपने पूरा स्टेज बाय स्टेज देखा, रोड के हालात क्या है, क्या कंडीशन है, सारे देखा, खच्चरों पे कितना मुश्किलात है, कितना। इसलिए हमें जो भी है गवर्नमेंट से अभी जो रोड का है वो बहुत मेन चीज़ है, हमारा रोड का डिमांड, तो रोड का बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है हमें।
But Tenzin's frustration will have to be put on hold for a while. Only a dozen men are working on the track with limited means and in poor working conditions, in the middle of toxic fumes.
साल ना यही काम इतना 2 किलोमीटर का काम हुआ, टेंडर हुआ अभी, फिर 1 महीने का चलेगा, उसके बाद फिर ठंड आ जाती है, टेम्परेचर कम हो जाता है। अगले साल फिर ये जो 2-3 किलोमीटर का टेंडर होगा, इसी करते करते ये शेरी तक पहुंच जाएगी।
The track is far from being finished, but the carriers don't hesitate to go ahead despite its dangers. 110 kilometers of track on the site of a ravine await them, as well as a narrow path at an altitude of 4,500 meters. Ram Singh tries to forget the fear by thinking only of one thing: delivering his shipment of peas as quickly as possible.
यहाँ से किलोमीटर थोड़ा डर लगता है क्योंकि कच्चा रोड है, वहाँ से आगे भी ठीक रोड है, पर हमारा इन ड्राइवरों पर भरोसा है क्योंकि इस रोड पे चला करते हैं।
रोड पे चलना तो अच्छा भी लगता है, बुरा भी लगता है, लेकिन क्या करें, वहाँ तो इधर उधर देखने का मौका नहीं मिलता है गर्दन गुर्दन घुमाने का, क्योंकि वहाँ थोड़ा टफ है। ये ठीक है, थोड़ा इधर कोई दिक्कत नहीं है ऐसा।
It's important to remember that not so long ago the road was only suitable for mules.
देखो, जब घोड़े होते थे हमारे यहाँ, घोड़े कचरे, तो हमें बहुत तकलीफ हुआ करती थी। तो हमें घराट के लिए अपना पीस, जैसे हम चक्की में जाते थे आटा पीसने के लिए, सर्दियों के लिए 6 महीने की बर्फ पड़ती है यहाँ, तो वहाँ से पीठ में उठा के कम से कम 30-35 किलो वजन उठा के पीठ में यहाँ पहुँचा करते थे। फिर हमें खाने पीने का भी वक्त नहीं मिलता है मटरों के टाइम, खासकर मटरों के टाइम की जल्दी अगर मटर के काम ख़त्म हो जाएंगे तो हम भी फ्री हो जाते हैं और काम में हम लग जाते हैं घर में। ये मटर जो ऐसे है कि अगर इनके ऊपर ज़्यादा बारिश होगी तो ये।
But as the journey continues, Ashu, the driver, finds that his steering is getting looser. And given the ravines on the side of the road, it's bad timing.
गाड़ी थोड़ा सपोर्ट रॉड का जो नट है वो एक क्लब टूट गया है वो, तो अभी इसका जुगाड़ लगा रहे हैं इसका पहुंचने फोरमैन तक। बीच में रास्ता खराब होने की वजह से
The priority is to get back on the road quickly. If they get stuck in the mountain tomorrow, Ram Singh will have to give up his bags of peas half price. And that's not an option. On this July morning, the silence that weighs on the state of Meghalaya suggests a great day awaits them. These men pray and drink a few sips of alcohol for courage and to prepare themselves for what awaits them. In honor of their god, they will have to carry this tree trunk weighing several tons for 5 kilometers without ever dropping it or even putting it on the ground. Failure is not an option, as it would result in a year of misfortune.
We already picked from Mother Earth. The Mother Earth will protect us for the whole year. Every year it will be like this.
The Jaintia tribe does not practice Hinduism. This ethnic minority worships its own god and the spirits of nature. After sowing the seeds, they start this procession every year to attract the monsoon rains. But reaching the sacred square located 5 kilometers away with the tree on the shoulder is a long, long walk.
It's heavy. Very heavy. I feel good. Enjoy.
The tree is not the only heavy gift that they offer to their god. To ensure that they attract good fortune, the men erect a raft. A tower measuring about 20 meters and weighing several hundred kilos, which again must be carried. Being one of the strong men who get to carry it is an honor for Iqbal.
I'm 30 years old, but for the past 30 years, we have been celebrating wedding club. In my lifetime, we have been celebrating this. It's not a habit, it is what God wishes us to do. That's why. We have a strong belief. We are an indigenous tribe. We are an indigenous tribe. We worship the gods, the water, the fire, the rain, and the sun.
To prevent the raft from collapsing onto the crowd, ropes are hung all around. They are held by a dozen men. The tower isn't the most stable. The porters and the rope workers keep on giving each other scares. Because once on the sacred square, there is another task. And not just anywhere, the sacred square is a pool of mud.
The most dirtiest place on earth.
The mud pool represents Mother Earth. The Jaintia show her gratitude by dancing in her and bathing in her water. They hope that these offerings and prayers will bring a monsoon to water the crops. And when there's this much commitment and calling for a miracle has to come. There is still one last act for the Jaintia to perform. The crowd is fighting hard to walk on the sacred trunk. For those who make it, they are one step closer to God and the hope of having good harvests. Indians often say that the monsoon is the soul of the country. Every year, man and animals alike look forward to it with both impatience and fear, given the monsoon's temperamental nature. Despite being very fruitful and making it possible to feed more than 1,300,000 people, it can also be destructive and drown everything in its path, the crops and much more. The island of Majuli, considered the largest inhabited river island in the world, will have disappeared by 2030. These sandbags arranged along the banks will not change this fact, nor will the prayers. The monsoon rains, combined with the accelerated melting of the Himalayan glaciers, increase the flow of the Brahmaputra river. The currents are eating away at the shores rapidly. Majuli Island is not the only one doomed to this fate. Kotai lives on the neighboring island of Kartik Chapori, and he no longer knows how to combat this land erosion.
Kan ngoto simple customer gora bangnam dum tu kaswe ra ko. Supak bari ko gulnen na gumsin podong ko. Mane okolo pasin mane ilatom ma. Otok langa sinta mo panampiru.
And for good reason. In his childhood, the island extended over 15 square kilometers compared to the 4 left today. While taking refuge inland, some inhabitants, like Kotai, are trying to delay what will inevitably happen: the complete evacuation of the island.
Mane sampai ida ono kan ngoluka sa mina majeda original jaga odok lagangan na mina tato ayok din dok odok lagangan ngolo sohudu bonna purbo puruk dokke missing na dhor ludak bonna anarui duna kurde odok lagangan na.
The Mizing's navigation talents make them experts in traveling along the river in bamboo rafts.
Business lagangan ada iya monna kan be bosek do degam puli bidak tu odok lagang ada iya monna ekta adam super kolo delivery bigena 200 lo koi Jun lo babi Dupes no are pes di dio tetia monkey kosi bole bhalo na mane single ke korile mane pani dubi jabo এই পানীত ডুবি যাব তারপর এটো জাপ কিবা যেটা কোন জাপ দি দিও এটো তেটা অলপ উপৰলে উঠি আহে তেটা পানী যাবলে ভাল
হে মা দুর্গা যে গঙ্গা মা তালে কুখলে কুয়াই দিব নাখন বাহতে নাখন তালে কুখলে সবে পাব লাগে
Kotai and his crew are headed near the large city of Yorhat. 2 days traveling down the river for about 20 kilometers, tossed by the currents at the mercy of tree trunks and sandbanks.
So mane bagam pa pampai je se rabur se jodi lagi dan mulo sin bagam pa nektup sumulo hoitu tani da otok pasin pare mane anada 80 doka agom lupulama olop bidak loko olop bidak mane olop bitku bilam na dungalang mane rada gupa lage.
And here comes trouble.
Hey taro hey bazi ase hey to bhalo
But it's too late. Leading 500 kilo rafts through the current, even with experience, is a real struggle.
এটা সাইডে লাগিছে স্যার
হ্যাঁ ইফালে বাম হইলে মই আৰু নুলাব গেতিয়া কোনফালে বাম
They have been trying for 3 hours. 3 hours for barely 5 kilometers covered. Kotai and his crew are far from their destination.
Mane dubom laton mane adekudu imado mane ngulu adamako olopa mane kekon pa dukola mano airu bixda odokka jodi aru beshi yudbat molo hoito okolobai sipasin pare.
The Brahmaputra is not a long, peaceful river. But what about the track that goes through the Panji Valley in the Himalayas? The P carriers are still stuck. Ashu and Ram Singh have temporarily fixed the problem, but the driver's message is clear.
Let's go.
The slightest false turn of the steering wheel would cause its repair to break again. And at night, of course, the risk of encountering surprises is high.
छोटी छोटी चीज़ों का भी ध्यान रखना ज़रूरी है गाड़ी की हवा टायर में चेक करना ब्रेक का ठीक होना स्टीयरिंग का ठीक होना एंड टायर रोड का ठीक होना
ये ऐसे पॉइंट में देखो कितना पॉइंट खराब है ये सर्दियों में यहाँ बड़े बड़े भारी ग्लेशियर आते हैं.
The most dangerous time to drive on these roads is when the snow starts to melt.
अगर ये सब चीज़ें ठीक नहीं होगी तो घटना घटने में टाइम नहीं लगेगा.
They drive without ever stopping, not even for a second. Anyway, there is no place to take a break. In the early morning, Ashu seems to be doing all right. And he better be. They still have about 60 kilometers to go in this no man's land.
समझ बूझ के साथ गाड़ी को यहाँ चलाना पड़ता है. मौसम तो यहाँ 12 के 12 महीने बरसात में ऐसा ही रहता है. देखो इधर धुंध पड़ी हुई है अपने बुरे हाल से. लापरवाही करेगा बंदा तो यहाँ घटना घट सकती है. ये बहुत ग्राउंड पास से नीचे. हाँ 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 हाँ.
According to legend, the last kilometers that lead to the Zakh path at an altitude of 4,500 meters are haunted by demonic spirits. Demons who whisper in the driver's ears to make them fall or cause rockfalls. As seen on this video, shot 2 weeks earlier, a rock hit a bus and left several victims. If there are demons, there have got to be gods or deities to fight them, like Durga. A small temple has been built for her at the top of the road.
ये हमारा माता की मंदिर है. मैं माता से प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि सब सुख रखा जाए. अच्छा काम होना चाहिए, हर काम सफल होना चाहिए। माता से ही दुआ करता हूँ कि इस रोड में कोई दुर्घटना ना होनी चाहिए।
Ram Singh's prayers are not only for his protection and that of his business. He's worried about seeing the weather getting worse a little more every year, and the glaciers disappearing with disastrous consequences.
तो इस एरिया में बहुत ज़्यादा बर्फ़ होती थी पहले, बहुत ग्लेशियर आते थे। अब कम होते जा रहे हैं क्योंकि प्रदूषण की वजह से, पता नहीं किसी वजह से कम होती जा रही है बर्फ़। तो इस साइड देखा तो मैंने चंबल साइड देखा तो बहुत ज़्यादा बारिश होने के कारण घास बहुत अच्छा हुआ। पूरा पांगी वैली में पूरी यही सोच है कि इस बार बारिश न होने के कारण जैसे भेड़ बकरियां और गाय को चारा के लिए भूसा की ज़रूरत पड़ रही है। कुछ सालों से पहले ठीक बारिश हुआ करती थी। अब
Under the effect of global warming, the immense water tower of the Himalayas is drying up. But man's genius has no limits. To avoid having to build giant cisterns, an engineer had the completely crazy idea of storing water in solid form with the help of nature. To build its glacier, the village must be at least 3,200 meters above sea level and the temperature at -20 degrees. Some of its artificial ice mountains go up to 40 meters high and freeze more than 9 million liters, enough to water the fields in spring, even though the clock is ticking. The mountains are drying up and so are the plains. In India, agriculture consumes 90% of groundwater. The groundwater is drying up and no rain comes to fill them back. Several regions are affected. All have had to put in place means to distribute water in homes. A little while ago, Nazir was a farmer, but various unfortunate events forced him to turn into a water delivery man.
पहले में और अब में बहुत फर्क है जी। पहले हमारे यहाँ पानी बहुत ज़्यादा था। हमारे इधर डहर में चौवे पे बोर तो रहते नहीं थे। पहले कुआं थे, हर जगह कुआं थे, मीठा पानी था, थोड़ा यूज करते थे। लेकिन अब गर्मी भी ज़्यादा है, हर बार बाढ़ आ जाती है, बारिश होती है तो इतनी होती है कि फसल नष्ट हो जाती, कभी सूखा पड़ती है, हर साल सूखा पड़ती है। इसीलिए हमारे आधा सारा जंगल खाली पड़ा है पानी की वजह से।
In his village, it's been a long time since they've had running water. Those who can afford it have had cisterns dug in their cellars.
हाँ भाई, पाइप लगाओ, ज़्यादा ले ले फिर मोड़ के लगा दीजिए। वो ना डालो मैंने अभी वहाँ में। इसमें 14,000 लीटर आता है, तकरीबन 20-25 दिन आराम से चल जाता है और इसी से काम चलता है।
Half of the Indian population, or 600 million people, are faced with a lack of water every year. India is developing at great speed, meaning its natural equilibrium is becoming more and more fragile. But some regions know how to preserve their environment. And when man and nature manage to create an allyship, sometimes amazing things happen. As is the case in the state of Meghalaya. Here, no one is dying of thirst, and the crops are abundant. It's worth mentioning that Meghalaya is one of the wettest places on the planet. An average of 12 meters of rain falls there every year. This abundance is partly due to the preservation of the forest. The Khasi tribe lives in harmony with nature. To build bridges over the ravines that separate them from the villages and fields, the Khasi do not use any machinery, nor cement, or even braided vines. No, they have teamed up with a tree. The roots of the Ficus elastica, better known as the rubber tree, are as strong as any modern material.
Ngilabnin ngusir. Lelong is apa tray ngis ketenat di tray. Abi ngirwai ngisiau tu bus ketenat di tray ngusir.
Van Suk and Led maintain these root bridges, some of which are several centuries old. But the two men are also growing new ones. To guide the roots, they build bamboo structures. This makes it possible to use the bridge sooner, since it takes at least 10 years before the tree can support the weight of a man.
Mình lang rồi nghĩ nó tầm bằng nghĩ khăm dụng lên thì vấn đề thay nhưng mà cái đêm cái xe thiệt thế nó cái dụng khăm im thì hạt par lior có slap. Ya cái chứng xem trong cái đó ban nhân Arab cả ban nhập bên khai nhưng mà cái này cái xe cứ bà tăng chi xem lại ốt lại chợt cái nghĩ thay là cái này cái thiệt cái đi ban xem Haba yai te kham yai bát hiệp lòng dòng bát mà polior lòng cả mà kham tu pai kine ki thiệt giri kham tu pai kine ki de te kham yai thì bát lòng nhiều nó bát lòng nhiều dòng bát cái chừng mình tới mà nghe nát bên ta kine ki cloud ki betam Long nằm tao nêu phê, long cái chứng minh tới long cái bà như kít như pom năng nè như chana yeng như thành yeng như rib hana cái này kinh gia đen cái kinh gia phê nằm mà như đơn cam ban gia chana đen ban gia chana yeng ban gia đơn cam bốn jaj tak jaj nhưng bên đơn cam.
The wisdom of the Khasi saves the forest. But for how long? On the Brahmaputra river, Kotai and his men are still struggling to move their bamboo rafts forward. The current sent them to the middle of a sandbar. They have been trapped for 4 hours now. They have only advanced 6 kilometers and 14 remain. Kortai no longer has a choice. He needs help. Fortunately, the river is like a highway, and you just have to raise your arm to get a boat's attention. The helping hand will not be free, but everyone would rather cut down on their profits than lose everything. But nothing goes according to plan. The rafts weigh 500 kilograms each, and the current is strong. The boat is not moving.
Asida danger mane asid tu mane jiman kini ni pokok sopa lagi solama bosor pura nutum na pesar di orok ledilo mane eren pila mane seolu sem orok legang mane bombek surang mane kacit eren mane gak kure tan jate mane olur potali molo hoitu olur kol falti pagi.
Too dangerous, Kortai ties his raft to the side and changes his approach, but it will cost him even more.
আৰু আজি লেদুপা যদি বমিয়াম গিয়ামলছিন সে রাসম পাঁকু ফমায় অঙ্গালক সে তাকামনা দংকাং অদক লাগাঙা সুফাক আবুরসিম মানে অলুংক কি বম পায়.
Now let's see if the boat, weighed down by a ton, will be able to travel against the current. The game is not over yet. Kortai is fed up.
Supak mo aburdem bomda gomsin ada kedek poisa pa ba.
The small engine manages to take them away from the sandbar, but this victory is too late. They will not have enough time to replenish the rafts before night. So Kortai makes the decision to return to the starting point. He will not sell his bamboo this time, but there's no shortage of work. He works hard so he can leave his island, doomed to disappear sooner or later.
Supak sokko guge kulange kotia pitpae. Achao ko ada mupa abar bani ko tukum sugela mane okolo bayaru jeka ko khangela ko khang jate aina du dope aw mangkure.
If the Brahmaputra continues to rise, according to experts, within 10 years, the island will be a tiny piece of land. In the Himalayas, Ashu and Ramsing are still about 30 kilometers from the vegetable wholesaler, and the road isn't getting any better.
ये जो मटर है खराब हो जाएंगे और ख़राब होने के कारण ये है कि हमें फिर दौर पे कम मिलेंगे, इसीलिए हमें थोड़ी जल्दी करनी पड़ेगी कि जितना जल्दी हम पहुँच सके उतना हमें एक दौर पे अच्छे मिलेगा, फ्रेश माल पहुँचेगा तो फ्रेश.
Accelerating is impossible. For now, the temporary fix on the steering holds up, but it could snap at the slightest pebble or pothole, taken slightly too fast. After 12 hours of travel, the crew reaches the goal. The risks and fatigue are quickly forgotten. Only the condition of the piece counts.
वो ये माल अभी तक ठीक है, जो पीछे से निकालेंगे वो तो आप देखेंगे कैसा होगा। देखो जी, मैं इतना दूर से आया हूँ, अब ये मटर अच्छे निकलेंगे तो हमें अच्छा फ़ायदा होगा। अगर इसमें गंदा माल निकलेगा तो इतना दूर सफ़र करके यहाँ तक पहुँचा के फ़ायदे क्या 2 रुपये कम मिलेंगे तो हमारा बड़ा नुकसान हुआ है।
Ashu and Ram Singh will go back and forth on this road until the arrival of snow. India is modernizing its infrastructure by building new roads or expanding its slopes in order to reduce its dependence and economic stagnation in the face of its Chinese rival. There are still many inequalities in the country, but half of the population is under the age of 25, so India has plenty of time to change its course.